Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al, week 3 on Draftkings, and I have a very special cage match this week. Our head-to-head battle for NFL DFS week 3, and I have these two jabronis from the DFS Edge. If you were a listener back in the day, you got to get the band back together every once in a while. We played last year in the cage. I was lucky enough to take that one down. I don't know if I'm going to be as fortunate this year. I am 0-2 in cage matches, so I'm very hungry. We had a whole lot of trash talking before we started this recording, and I know that Pete is just chomping at the bit to go get it at him and make him feel a little bit of pain too, so this is going to be a real fun episode. We're playing for 3 different charities. Links to all of them are down below in the description if you wanted to donate to either the No Kid Hungry charity or the 2 charities that my friends Adam and Pete are going to be playing for as well. We'll get to them in just a second, but thank you guys for being here. Drop a like on the video. Let's see if we can get 750 likes on this video. Subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, leave me a reply. Let me know who you think drafted the best team in this head-to-head 3-way battle. Let's go!
He's a legend.
Hey guys, how's it going? Glad that you're here. I mean, hey, look, we got the band back together. Adam, good morning.
Good morning. That was quite an intro. You're really becoming a real professional with the intros. You didn't even, when we were doing the Edge, you didn't even want to host. You didn't want to host. And now look at you. You sound like Pat Sajak or something like that. I don't even know.
Freaking Sajak. Of all the people, Pat Sajak. Appreciate that. Hope that you're doing well. Pete, how's it going, man?
Ready to beat up on Adam. And yeah, that was quite the introduction. Excited for this cage match.
All right. So Adam, why don't you tell everybody where they can find your stuff if they didn't know already over at Establish the Run and all of your socials and everything else.
Yeah, no big deal. Twitter is where it's at, man. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on any of that other BS. You got to be on Twitter. If you want to be good at fantasy football, you need to be on Twitter because that's where the information happens. That's where it happens first. And that's where all the most thoughtful people are. So I know you guys are on YouTube. You're on Twitch. If you want to be good at fantasy football, you're on Twitter at Adam Levitan. That's all you need.
Fantastic. And where can they find your stuff?
Me?
Your content.
You can go to establishthorun.com. But if you're on Twitter, my point is that if you're on Twitter, I'll be to my work and you'll be able to find everything I'm working on there. So you don't even need to know. You just need to go to Twitter. That's what these people need to understand. If you're good, you're on Twitter.
Just go to the Twitter machine is basically what Adam is telling me. Adam is going to be playing for the Morris Animal Foundation. Adam, do you want to tell everybody about the Morris Animal Foundation? I know you don't live in Philly anymore.
Yep.
This is who you've played for the last 2 years.
Correct. Yeah. So these guys are going to be playing for humans. I, of course, prefer dogs to humans, and therefore I am playing for an animal shelter in Philly that takes care of a lot of dogs. And so you guys know how I feel about animals and dogs. So hopefully we can get them cool $1,000.
Awesome. And Pete, why don't you tell everybody about Charity Water, the charity that you are going to be playing for today?
Yeah, and also just to clear up some things, I know it's tough when you follow Adam on Twitter. The avatar, his picture looks so different than what he looks like now. So I get the confusion, but thanks for clarifying, Adam. I'm playing for Charity Water, one of the coolest charities out there. I'm a big fan of how much they've grown. Drew Dinkmeyer, a mutual friend of all of ours, has done a great job supporting that. The fantasy community has done a great job supporting Charity Water, and their goal is to just get more drinking water to people who don't have access to it. It's still a huge problem in the world, and they've been really on the forefront. They're a blend of a technology company and a great charity. So always love supporting them. 100% of the money goes to charities or goes to actually delivering water. They have a really unique model in that the overhead of the charity and all the employees and everything are paid for separately. So you feel good knowing your money's actually going towards water, which is great.
And why don't you tell everybody where they can find your content now over at Lucky Trader or wherever else you're putting stuff out nowadays?
Yeah, shout out Lucky Trader, shout out Underdog, shout out to Al, shout out to Establish the Run, shout out to everyone. And yeah, you can just find me on Twitter. I'm shilling everything out there. I mean, I'm a huge shill now. That's what I do. So I agree with Adam. I think Twitter is where it's at.
Yeah, chat basically said that you're like a NASCAR guy now. You got like patches for everything all over your shirts. Every polo shirt that you have from the country club has patches from everywhere.
Shout out to Castle Pines, really great golf course. We'll shout them out too.
Loads of shout outs. And yes, Adam's 7th grade picture that he uses as his Twitter avatar is still in vogue for him. We're trying to get him to update it, but he can't delete it. It's just a thing at this point. I, as always, will be playing for No Kid Hungry. We've got our campaign that we have been running on this channel, and you guys have been so incredibly generous so far in the first 2 weeks of the season, trying to raise $25,000 by the end of this calendar year. And for every $5,000 that our community raises, I will be matching $5,000 up to a total of $25,000, hopefully making $50,000 raised for No Kid Hungry. We have 1 in 6 kids in America are food insecure right now, and we are trying to do what we can to help out with school breakfast, school lunches, and at-home care for those kids. We're going to be playing for $500 a head. That means $1,000 is going to be donated to every one of to one of these charities that the 2 losers in this cage match get to. So if these 2 Rudy Poos over here, the number 1 pick was drawn by Adam Levitan. So Adam, why don't you get to it? Tell us who you're going to take number 1 overall.
Okay, number 1 overall for me, and I'm always fuzzy on strategy, exactly what it should be for this, but I do think that one of the best values on the week at one of the most important positions is going to be Dalvin Cook at 8,400. And we're using DraftKings salaries, correct?
DraftKings salaries, can't have any overlap.
Got it. Okay, Dalvin Cook will be my pick. I think this Seattle defense is leaky, and this game could get real nuts. I know Dalvin was banged up a little bit last week. He said he's going to practice this week, and he's fine. So I'll go with Dalvin Cook at 8,400.
Fantastic. Pete, you're up next.
Not what I was expecting. He wasn't even my top 6 or 7 picks, so that's perfect.
That's encouraging.
Very encouraging. I'll take a guy who I think is a better play. He's only 600 more in a great matchup against Houston. I'll take Christian McCaffrey at 9,000.
He's a good player. Yeah.
You can't. Whoa. He is not even on the fucking slate. Oh, sorry. He's not even on the slate.
Then you can't take him.
Dang.
You think I would have passed on Christian McCaffrey?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, how is that possible? All right, so I'm the donkey.
Yeah,
okay,
he's on Thursday night, Pete.
Yeah, I'm the
13-game slate. I sent you a freaking invite.
Yeah, it shows how smart I am. I'm building this, on Fantasy Labs. Shout out to Fantasy Labs. So my fault.
Shout out to Christian McCaffrey in the Thursday night football game.
Yeah, I was going to say the Dalvin Cook or McCaffrey pick seems pretty egregious. All right, I got another running back. This is I don't feel as good about this pick, but I think it'll enable some spending later. I'll take CEH at 4,800.
Okay. You got to talk to me about CEH, because he is on the verge of being redacted on this channel. This is the final week that he is going to be allowed to be spoken about. And in the past, what happens when a player gets redacted on my channel is I'm not allowed to speak their name. So if I have to talk about him, I'm going to have to say things like, it's only 4,800 this week. So is he too much of a value, or is this the last chance that you give him with the volume and the matchup and the total and everything else?
The highest applied total on the board is the Chiefs. Obviously, Mahomes in the passing game is going to be really responsible for that. I do think they believe in him. Obviously, the cost of the game with that fumble. Bounce back spot. And 4,800, looking at some of the players I want to spend up on, I'll lock in the value. There's a couple other plays. I was hoping that I could take Christian McCaffrey and CEH, but that plan shows how much of an idiot I am. So I am now taking CEH, and the Dalvin Cook pick is obviously a lot better now.
All right. So now the Dalvin Cook pick looks a lot better. All right, so it's to me for 2, because we're doing a normal snake, because it's a 3-man match instead of a 2-man match. I don't know what's going to be available when it gets back to me. So I'm going to take value, like I always seem to do at the top of these cage matches. And KJ Osborne to me is a screaming value at wide receiver. So considering that he is only $3,500 and running a ton of routes, and the Vikings went from a team that played a lot of 2 tight end last year and not a lot of 3 tight end to being a team that's running a ton of 3 wide this year because of the injury to Irv Smith. This is how they have coped. Now, week 3 has historically been a rug pull week. So it would not shock me if I am completely wrong on this one, and KJ Osborne suddenly just goes from playing the amount of snaps he was playing and gets that halved in this particular week. But as Adam alluded to with his pick of Dalvin Cook, Seattle has been very friendly to the opposing offenses that have played against them, not just this first 2 games of this season, but last season too. So it's been a problem. They get involved in a lot of shootouts because of that. So whether they're playing from ahead and Minnesota has to pass a bunch, or whether they're allowing a lot of points and keeping the throttle on because their offense is so good, because Minnesota's defense has not been as advertised so far this year. I like KJ Osborne in this spot. Somebody else that I think is a really good value in another super high total game, and one that we're going to have to really piece together and figure out as the week goes on. But Cooper Kupp has played ridiculously well with the addition of Matthew Stafford at quarterback for the Rams over Jared Goff, who, by the way, Jared Goff has played well. So, like, I'm not here to just, like, talk trash about him. But, like, Cooper Kupp, probably not sustainable, like the 78% of the market share of targets that he's getting. Don't fact check that on me. It's just believe me. He's getting a lot of targets. 11 in the second game, 10 in the first game. Love him again this week against Tampa Bay. This game has one of the highest totals on the board. It's up since open. The Rams are now 1-point dogs after opening as 2-point favorites. Whatever. I'm expecting a lot of offense in this game, even though both defenses are very stout. They're going to have to score, and that means a lot of targets for Cooper Kupp. And if he can find his way into the end zone for the third straight week, absolute smash at 6,800.
Great pick. I was going to take him. So I'll take someone right next to him. There's a couple of plays that are good at receiver, but I'll go with Keenan Allen. Start a little game stack here. 6,600 going against the Chiefs. I imagine they're going to have to throw a lot. Sets up really well on DraftKings. 6,600 is a great price.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
All right. Well, you guys left me the best quarterback play on the slate. That is Mr. Justin Fields, who is, I mean, like, this
He's
dude
cheap.
runs.
He can
This
run.
dude runs, man. Yeah, I mean, DraftKings left his salary at a point that was just kind of silly, because if he starts, he's obviously a huge value, and if he doesn't, no one's playing him anyways. But DraftKings decided to leave him down at, what is he, 5,300?
52, I think. Yeah.
5,200, even better. So, yeah, I mean, Justin Fields, if you watch in the preseason, like, Justin Fields was tucking and running at the same kind of way that I think Jalen Hurts does, but Justin Fields is a much better thrower than Jalen Hurts is. I don't love the matchup against Cleveland, but I think it's okay. So I'm going to go with Justin Fields for my first pick.
Okay. And now your second pick, locking up your quarterback spot early.
Yeah, probably not GTO, huh?
I don't know. In a 2-man, no, but in a 3-man, it's different.
Yeah.
If he's the key to your lineup and you feel like he's the one guy and everybody else is much higher, then, like, I don't hate it in a 3-man, but in a 2-man, locking up quarterback early, probably not optimal.
Do you do any other 3-mans, or is this the only 3-man?
This is the only one of the year.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only one, a very special DFS Edge reunion this week on, ABC Family Playhouse.
You know what? I'm just going to take the PSM guys and worry about everything else later. I'll go with Tyreek Hill at 8,400. I know he's expensive, but I mean,
Tyreek,
dude, such an outlier. And like him and Derrick Henry, like, when you, like, I know we argued about this so much on the Edge. I want to make the point for those guys that listen back on the Edge. If you consistently try to identify outliers, you will end up losing money in the long run. If you think you can be the guy that picks the one Tyreek, you know how many people have told me they found the next Tyreek, they found the next Deshaun Jackson, they found the next T.Y. Hilton. They're all buried, sleeping under the boardwalk in Atlantic City, because you can't do that. Now, once they establish themselves as an outlier, I'm willing to accept it. Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill come to mind on that stuff. So anyways, I'll go with Tyreek.
I mean, that's just a pathetic defense for your absolute brain dead take back in the day. I mean, come on. Oh yeah, it's hard to identify the guy who's faster than everyone on the field by a mile.
So is Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman is faster than every guy on the field also.
Not in the same level, dude.
No, he is
not
in
as
the
good,
same level
right.
as a track star. He's just not as good a football player.
Right.
Bad human, though.
Right. It's just a ridiculous story. I'm happy to play against people all day who think they can continuously identify outliers.
How come everybody, but like, that's been my problem with like every sport. Do you realize how many the next Magic Johnsons there have been? Steve Smith was supposed to be like the next Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Any 6'8" point guard is the next Magic Johnson. Anybody that runs a sub 4.35 40 and is not 6'3" is the next Tyreek Hill. And they're not, I think, is the point that Adam's trying to make. But also, as Pete said, your take was bad early.
I mean, I identified Tyreek Hill. The whole community identified it, and you were so stubborn. You were like, didn't buy into Tyreek for years. I mean, how much money do you need to lose on Odell Beckham, on Tyreek Hill? I mean,
I'm up on Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham's been so bad for the last 3 years. I'm up on him now.
Yeah, it was bad early, but like it has turned for you.
He's been atrocious.
let's not get carried away. Oh no, you're not up on that.
He had like 3 slants that he took to the house, and since then he's just been absolute stone dust.
Heels and elbows. Now it's heels, elbows, and knee ligaments. Pete, you're up.
All right. I mean, I had plenty of donkey takes, but the Tyreek thing, I mean, it's still every time he scores. I mean, I should bring back the Ty Freak tweet, CC Adam Levitan.
But he's in my lineup now because he's established himself as an outlier.
Establish the outlier.
I'm actually quite tilted too.
It's a new podcast.
I was going to take Tyreek Hill. That's really frustrating. All right, I'll take Robert Woods then.
Bobby Trees.
Same sort of thought process here. Great game environment. 1,100 cheaper now than Cooper Kupp. I do think it's a better value, but maybe a little bit of regression on target share. A lot of film now on Cooper Kupp getting wide open. I imagine they'll spend a little bit more time preparing for how they can take away some of what he does. Robert Woods is involved in all stages of the game for the Rams, and 5,700 is a great price.
I don't disagree with you, but is this you chasing the squeaky wheel narrative right here? Is that
no, it's just a good value? I mean, I'm just looking at that. I mean, I show him basically as the same value as Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp projected in like 21, 22 range, and Robert Woods projected for 17. I mean, he's still going to get a ton of opportunity. I mean, 9 targets last game. Obviously, he has rush attempts as well. So it's a great game environment. I just think that price is too good to pass on.
Yeah, I'm with you. I do think there might be a little bit of squeaky wheel going on here where like, okay, Cooper Kupp's gotten all the love, and that's going to be where the defense is going to rotate as he's the primary receiver there. So like, let's, this could be a nice bounce week for somebody like Bobby Woods. I got a lot to do here. There's 2 things I want to get. Oh, God. All right. I'm just going to get these 2 things. Okay? I'm going to take Travis Kelce. Speaking of outliers, I'm going to take tight end that gets you like 25 points a week, and I'll let you guys try and figure out where else to go at tight end. There was another guy that, yes, there's guys that are doing well this year. They're a lot cheaper than Travis Kelce, but like, I'm going to take the 25 points pretty much, 20 to 30 points every single week with Travis Kelce. And I'll let you hope that your tight end can get you 15 to 25 points when I know that mine has done that pretty much 15 of the last 17 weeks, something ridiculous. He scored over 20 points on DraftKings. Great floor targets, fantastic touchdown expectation every single time he takes the field, and possibility for a bonus, which is pretty rare at tight end. I also can't believe that you guys left me Saquon Barkley at 6,500 against the Atlanta Falcons at home, favored, solid total here, a $5 running back. For those of you who watch the $5 running back video that comes out every Tuesday on our YouTube channel, go check that one out. $6,500 for a guy who finally last week, who has been eased back in after the knee injury from last year, but played what percent of snaps last week, Adam? 74, 84, something in that range?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on a short week, he played all but 13 snaps in the game, yeah.
And against the Washington football team, who is one of the most efficient teams at defending the run. So I'm not shocked to see how inefficient he was on the ground, especially if you take away that 41-yard gain that he had. He ripped off 41 yards, and then he ripped off 0.8 yards in all the other 12 carries that he had. I expect the targets to increase. I expect the snap count to be steady. I expect him to be a lot more efficient on the ground more consistently than just ripping off one big run, although that big play, big splash ability still exists. It's definitely in his toolbox. And Denver, hey, Pete, Denver's got a good defense again. Imagine that. So 2 really good defenses, and now he gets to face a very friendly defense in the Atlanta Falcons, historically really bad against running backs and looking really bad defensively through the first 2 weeks. I'll take Saquon, who I think is one of the best mid-range values on the board. Saquon, Osborne, Kupp, Kelce. I'll figure the rest out.
I hope Saquon has a good week. Same with Tyreek. We got a big season-long team that we need those guys. So I'll go with that. And since Adam took my guy, Ty Freak, it's only fair that I take his guy and Chris Godwin.
Now it's personal.
Going with Robert Woods. And I got a nice little balanced team going here. Keenan Allen, Robert Woods, Godwin. Feel pretty good about those guys as my receivers.
Yeah. Solid. That Godwin's Tom Brady guy's a good quarterback.
What do we think? Real quick on this, and I know Jalen Ramsey's playing all over. I think historically you'd say, oh, this might be a really good spot for Godwin and maybe even Antonio Brown. Obviously, we have the COVID stuff we have to watch because you assume Ramsey's going to shadow Mike Evans, but now that Jalen Ramsey's playing all over.
Yeah, he hasn't shadowed anybody. He's like, they're using him at like outside linebacker.
Yeah, and the shadow stuff doesn't really matter that much, as we've kind of learned over the years. So I was going to make that point, but then realized that was a donkey take. But still, Chris Godwin, I mean, that's got to burn a little bit at him.
Yeah, shout out Penn State. Shout out Chris Godwin, who's like legit good dude and playing really well and has maybe the most solid role. I think Antonio Brown will likely get cleared from this COVID stuff, but if he doesn't, Godwin will obviously project even better. All right. For my next trick, I need to fill this running back spot. I think, and I like the Saquon pick. I actually think that for $600 cheaper, Antonio Gibson's role is not all that different. Matchup is maybe a little bit worse, but I also don't think that Heineke is really a big downgrade on Ryan Fitz either. And I get that JD McKissic is there and Antonio Gibson's not going to play on clear pass downs, but he's just such a big part of the offense on early downs. So I'll go ahead and fill that other running back spot with Antonio Gibson.
Okay. And your second pick. So Dalvin Cook, Gibson, Fields, Tyreek Hill. Big upside lineup here.
Yeah. Oh my God. This team is full 3.9, but I got to save some money. I got to save some money bad. I think probably of what's left, my favorite player under 4K is probably Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman actually ran the second most routes ahead of Demarcus Robinson. And I think this game environment could just be absolutely nuclear. Now, I get that Mecole Hardman has not seen targets per route run at all. Like, it's been absolutely dreadful. But if we are identifying outliers based on raw speed, like Peter likes to do, and YouTube highlights, like Peter likes to do, Mecole Hardman is very, very, very much in the mix. And so 3,900, I got to save some money in this lineup. So I'll go ahead and take it.
How does Mecole Hardman grade on the Tavon Austin YouTube video slider, Pete?
He's a little better than Tavon's got the best YouTube highlights. Tavon I've lost a lot of money on. Mecole Hardman, I almost won. Like I when that game that Tyreek was out, he had that touchdown called back, and I literally, if that touchdown wouldn't have been called back, I would have won $1 million. So he almost won me a lot of money, but I've lost net on Mecole Hardman. I chase those guys. I mean, I chase the upside guys.
You like the speed guys. You like the flashy YouTube video highlight guys. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. Worked out really well until everyone got really good, and then now it's not working out so well. Okay, so the little game theory here. I'm trying to think about what I want to do. I know one of my picks, but I'm trying to think about who Al's going to take here.
I like that you're worrying about me.
I am worried about you. I'm trying to think of who I want to take. This is a tough spot.
So it is. Once, especially in the 3-man, since you can't have any overlap, like a normal head-to-head game, a normal 3-man game that you're playing on DraftKings, there's a ton of overlap, right? Like you might have a 2v2 or a 3v3 on an extremely chalky week in cash, but like we're taking these dudes off the board, and if somebody snipes a value that you'd been targeting, and now you've got to take a way less EV play in that range, like there's, chat doesn't know what Pete was going to do because like Amari's not on this slate, so like his whole brand.
Mari, how good is Mari?
I gotta say, you may think it's 2v2s and 3v3s in cash, but if you tell sex jokes on the internet, you get like 8v8s in cash and 9v9s in cash. Oh yeah, you just gotta tell more.
See, part of that is because you now have a very good microphone setup, so now everybody can hear those sex jokes that you tell on the internet way clearer.
No response, Adam?
No, just the comment.
Yeah, I was arguing with him before you got on about whether this fancy mic that's driving me crazy actually makes a difference or not.
It does.
Al, how tilted are you about the echo in Peter's room?
Oh, it's bad. It's really bad. I'm gonna hear about it on all the YouTube comments. Gonna be, God, that guy's microphone is bad. But the guy in the bottom right, his microphone's awesome.
I have that microphone coming. My indefinite setup. Did you come over and see the space, Adam?
Yeah, the space looks great. I don't know what you're waiting for.
Your boy John, what Jordan, right?
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. All right. Try not to talk too much.
Does your boy Jordan have any friendly places in the 310 that he could get me somebody here? Because I got a wires issue.
I just tweeted and I was like, yo, like I am a stone cold donkey with all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I need someone not to tell me what to buy. I need someone to tell me what to buy and come to my
And
house.
so,
And
yeah, you need
install it.
Geek Squad. You need somebody to be your full Geek
Right.
Squad. Tell me what to buy. I'll buy it. You put it together. And then I
Right.
do the talking when the red light goes on.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, Jordan's been great. Yeah.
All right. Enough stalling for you, Pete. I bought you a lot of time. You got to have a player for us now.
All right, this is the worst pick of the draft. I'm taking Mike Davis, who I hate, and it's just a good matchup. That's basically what's happening here.
Good quads, though.
Yeah. And he's on the season one team. I need him. So opposite edge life, leverage life.
Okay, can I get either you or Adam to talk to me about Mike Davis versus Cordero Patterson?
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thesis of the dead zone when season long. You assume the volume is there. The only reason people liked Mike Davis was because of volume. And then you realize when the chips are down, this guy's been a journeyman his whole career, and Cordero Patterson starts taking a lot of work. And so, yeah, I think, Cordero Patterson's played well as a pure running back and in the pass game, but Mike Davis is still, he still caught 7 balls last week. Like, I think it's fine in full PPR, but I think we can clearly see he's going to lose work to Cordero Patterson.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, Davis still should be like the 60 to 70% snap guy.
Yeah.
In that situation. So. All right. All right. What do I have? I forgot what my freaking team is. I got Barkley, Osborne, Cup, Kelsey. All right. I need a little bit of value because I got 5K remaining. So one of the best values through the first 2 weeks, which means he's going to suck this week, has been Marvin Jones Jr., who was 3,600 in week 1, put up 18 points, was 4,700 in week 2 against Denver, an actual good defense, where he put up 17.5, mostly on like that first drive where he caught like 3 balls and a touchdown. And so Draftkings decided, you know what, we got to elevate this guy who has 20 targets through 2 weeks, so he's 4,900 in week 3. For the team that has like the most deep throws in the league, massive air yards for this Urban Meyer created offense, whatever. As long, look, I'll buy into air yards, especially when those air yards are supported with somebody who is leading his team in targets and has a touchdown through first 2 weeks. So like red zone usage, end zone usage, high leverage at a low price, 4,900 in that spot. So I need a running back now. I don't love this spot. Like, I really don't. I wonder if I could get up to him. Can I get up to him? My quarterback might be a little bit uglier. Yeah, I can get up to him. I'm going to take Austin Eckler. You know why? He's really good at football. He also catches a lot of passes. Finally, quickly, the assumption of rational coaching, right? So like week 1, man, like after that game, do you think that the coaches got together and like, holy crap, guys, we didn't even throw Austin the ball 1 time. We got to do better. So they threw it to him 9 times in week 2. I think that's much better. And as I think Pete said earlier in the show, this is a game situation that could go absolutely nuclear with a high and rising total. Is this the highest total game on the slate?
It's got to be.
It's 1
Minnesota
or 2.
and Seattle is 55.5.
Uh-huh.
Rams and Bucks is 56.
Uh-huh.
And Chiefs and Chargers is 55.
Okay, so like whatever, 55 is ridiculous territory. I don't care if it's like, well, there's one that's 55.5, so technically it's not the highest total. 55 is a really high total. And we saw Kansas City give up tons of yards and tons of catches the last couple of weeks. Love Austin Eckler pretty much every week. And his price has come down from last week against Dallas, where he scored 22 points and got 9 targets to 7,200 in a very similar offensive environment. Very disappointing game last week in total, that Dallas Chargers game. If it's another disappointment, but he still catches 9 balls, really high floor, absolutely high ceiling. And I love the fact that he gets a ton of targets and inside the 5 carries. So I think I'm winning right now, guys, which means I'm going to come in third, but I'm hoping that the kids are going to eat this week. So hopefully we can get something out of Pete here without having to stall.
No stalling. This is the pick I wanted to make, and I knew you already had a tight end, and Adam doesn't have a tight end, so Big B is my pick at 4K, best value on the board.
Yep.
I hope I stung Adam again.
Playing a ton of snaps, just didn't get targeted last week.
Yeah. Higbee really gave it to me. It was so bad last week.
I was Fant over Higbee last week. I know that you were Higbee over Fant last week.
God.
I kind of got lucky with Fant. Like, he had enough targets, but like I got lucky because he didn't have any production and stumbles into the end zone.
I can't face talking about last week anymore, but if I would have played I probably would have played Cup because I didn't love having 2 Rams, but let's not talk about it. Okay.
We're on to week 3.
This is a forward-thinking show. Both you guys have tight ends, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But we also have a flex, so like we could take another tight end.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I take. Yeah. Oh God. All right. I think the way that I need to compete at the tight end position is not through punting. So I'm going to go with the true unicorn himself, Kyle Pitts here as one of my picks. And then I'm going to set up, I have around 4,400 left, including defense. Okay. Oh, God.
It seems so painful for Adam all the time.
I know. I just hate making bad decisions. And when and when I don't have time to like sit down and think about it, it really pains me.
Stop making bad decisions.
Well, yeah, we're trying over here, buddy. Golly. I should, if I would have taken like Cup or Godwin first, I'd be in a much better spot. I blew it.
You did this last year where you're like, you basically said, can I get a do-over? And me and you're like, no, you can't do a do-over.
I mean, I like the team. I'm just going to end up with something I don't love here with my last 2 picks, but that's okay. You know who's been balling, man?
Who?
Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, I can do this. Okay.
All right.
You know who's been balling? I mean, really balling, and it has an incredible matchup this week. The fake Hollywood himself, Marquise Brown.
He's the fake Hollywood.
Well, yeah, he's from Hollywood, Florida, and he calls himself Hollywood, leading everybody to think that it's Hollywood, California, but it's actually Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah, Hollywood in California kind of sucks, by the way.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with Marquise Brown at 5,600. I mean, there were a bunch of guys in that range that I like, but I'm gonna go with him. I think I actually need that little bit of savings there over some of these guys in the 6Ks because I don't think I can make it work otherwise. So yeah, Marquise Brown.
All right. Marquise Brown is yours. Something like what? Like there's some stat. I forget what it is. It's either like 8 targets or 80 yards or a touchdown in each of his last 10 games or something ridiculous. Again, don't fact check me, but like he's been good.
Oh, yeah.
Pete, back to you.
Gosh, this is where you got to make things work.
Yeah, this is where it gets tough. This is where the rubber hits the road.
Just looking around here real quick. Just
take your time. Talk us through it, though.
Well, I know we both need quarterback, Al.
Yeah, we do.
We all need a defense.
See, here's the thing. We both need a quarterback, but as I've been trying to tell Davis Maddock for years, always leave yourself outs. So I've got a couple of quarterbacks that I'm looking at that are both going to fit into what's remaining of my optimal here.
Yeah. All right. This defense, I'm just debating this 2v2. I think I know. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make my decision easy now. I don't think you're going to take them anyways, but the Detroit Lions are going to be all-time bad, I think, on defense this year.
They're quite bad. Yeah.
I think they're really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson's really expensive, but
quite good.
Quite good.
So I like it when the puzzle pieces fit together like that.
I was thinking about Stafford with, I got Higbee and Woods, and I got Godwin running it back. I was thinking that correlation might be nice in the 3-man. I think he's going to have a good game, but the Lions, they are bad. And this could easily be a double bonus game for Lamar. So I'll take Lamar.
I mean, he's run it. What was the narrative in the offseason from the Ravens? We don't want to run Lamar as much in 2021 as we have in the past. So they've lived up to that by only running him 28 times in the first 2 weeks of the season. He's got more carries than their lead back. Who's their lead back right now of the two, Adam?
I think still Tyson, but yeah.
Yeah, like I can't decide. It seems like it's, 1 and 1A. Like they don't know. Just both of them are just kind of there. But Lamar Jackson, great play, great pick, great player, great spot, huge floor because of the rushing ability, big time upside with the rushing touchdowns, and everything else. So now I don't have to take a quarterback because neither of you can take a quarterback, which is nice. It's not thrilling, but it is nice. So let's see. I can take my flex in this spot, and I might have to move things around. And I'm going to take a defense here before either of you gets a chance to take a defense here. But I don't know which defense I want. I need a cheap defense for sure because I've spent a lot of money. So like looking at these cheap defenses, we got like the Jags, the Lions, the Bengals. Bengals are interesting. The Jets, Chargers against KC. I mean, if you're going after the other team's going to drop back a lot, giving you a lot of opportunities, then that might be the way to go. The Bengals have had 3 sacks in the first couple of games. They're squaring off against Pittsburgh, who like everybody was telling me, Pittsburgh doesn't give up sacks. Pittsburgh throws the ball super fast, and like that offensive line is kind of trash. And they drafted a running back in the first round, which shockingly did not shore up the offensive line in Pittsburgh. And the Bengals can kind of get after it, and they're only 2,100. And Ben doesn't really have the arm strength that he used to have, meaning that he's throwing up a lot of weather balloons, which are going to get picked sooner or later, and hopefully one of those can come back to the house. I'm going to take the Bengals D. I'm going to have to shift my team around to move one of these guys down into the flex, which means I'm going to have to find me a wide receiver that's around this range in here. Now, I could take Manny Sanders just for the sole purpose of making Ashley hit Peter with her brand new purse that he should have bought her by now repeatedly until Sunday, especially if Manny sneaks his way into the end zone. But I'm kind of excited about Darnell Mooney. And I love the change from in quarterback. They forced them to do it because he literally can't go, right? So Fields is starting this week, which means that Andy Dalton and his 8% of long throws, which is like worst in the league, changes immediately because Fields is going to take some shots because he's a rookie, and rookies are dumb and they take shots down the field because that's what they know how to do, which opens up or unlocks the ceiling for somebody like Darnell Mooney at only 4,300. Good floor of targets through the first 2 weeks. Price has not escalated to a point that matches his ceiling yet, or negates his floor. 15 targets in 2 weeks, 8 in week 2, 7 in week 1. Has not really seen a massive game yet because Andy Dalton refuses to throw the ball further than 8 yards down the field, which does not mesh with Darnell Mooney. But I think that Fields' skill set plays way more into those hands, especially playing opposite of Allen Robinson, leaving me 6,500 for a quarterback that you guys can't take.
Nice. Stafford. Someone else.
There's a few in that range.
There are a few. And Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got your Eckler pick too. Okay, I don't think Adam's going to take either one of my picks, but I'll go the one that maybe he could take. I guess I'll take. I will go with Thielen, who I think there's a couple better values, but really good game environment. I mean, he's been so ridiculous with touchdowns, and who knows if that'll sustain, but it's unlikely to sustain, I should say. But he's still going to get a lot of targets, and it's a great game environment. And this week, I think there's so many good receiver plays that a lot of teams are going to have receivers in the flex.
So many articles were written this offseason talking about Adam Thielen and his touchdown percentage regressing in 2021 from 2020. And Adam Thielen looked at him and said, hold my beer. 3 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks.
He's pretty good.
Adam, to you for 2 and to finish off your squad with a flex and a DST.
Yeah, I mean, if Peter was paying attention, he would know that I have no chance of affording Adam Thielen.
I know you can't get either of my players, buddy.
I mean, I'm just bust though here. I have 7,700 to spend for flex and defense, and I messed this up. There was a combo that was definitely better than what I did.
What was
don't
the
wanna say-
combo, first of all? Or
I don't
tell
want to
us
say it yet
afterwards.
because do you guys still have a wide receiver flex open?
I have a quarterback only.
What do you have left, Peter?
Defense.
So I should have gone Mike Williams and
Big Mike.
Tyler Boyd punt defense. Instead, I'm going to go Marquise Brown, Tyler Boyd, and the Cardinals defense against Trevor Lawrence. So I would have much rather punted on defense though and had Big Mike Williams over Marquise Brown, fake Hollywood, because then I also would have had a little mini game stack there with Tyreek, Hardman, and Big Mike. But I'll finish it off with Tyler Boyd. I think when you play the Pittsburgh Steelers, like they try to funnel everything into the slot. We saw it in week 1 with Beasley, had like 13 targets. Week 2, Renfro had a good game. Now it's Tyler Boyd's turn, I think, to have a good game at 4,700 against the Steelers. And yeah, I mean, I don't love spending $3K on defense, but this game could turn shootout, the Cardinals and Jaguars, and that's fine by me because I mean, I'm fine with Trevor Lawrence. I think he's going to be okay as long as he gets away from this stone cold donkey, Urban Meyer. So I'll go with Cardinals defense there.
Lawrence looks good. Like I was saying, how rookies challenge down the field. He's got the highest percentage of downfield throws of any quarterback in the league, and like everybody right below him is like Tom Brady, Mahomes, Lamar. It's like it's all the best quarterbacks, and then like Trevor Lawrence with more.
Yeah.
He's not connecting, but at least he's trying.
Yeah. I actually like my team. I mean, we got some major upside on my team. I feel good. So shout out to the dogs in Philly. I think we're gonna get there.
There you go. And if you guys want to donate to any of the 3 charities, you wanted to take part and donate to any of the 3 charities, there are links down below. Just click show more on the description. Also in that description is the link to the listener league. A lot of people in replies can't seem to find it. It's literally right there. Just click show right there.
Well, I wanted a different. Arizona was my backup plan. I got the defense that I want, and I actually think Adam made a little bit of a mistake early, especially how early he drafted him. I mean, I like Fields. I think he's going to run a lot, but this Cleveland defensive line is absolutely nasty, and I like that he's going to run because I think it's going to lead to a lot of sacks, maybe some fumbles. So I have a $50,000 full budget spent with the defense of Cleveland on my team.
All right, there you go. Pete's team, Lamar Jackson, CEH, possibly soon to be redacted, Mike Davis and his quads, Keenan Allen, Woods, Godwin, Higbee, Thielen, and the Browns. That brings it back to me for my final pick. Thank you guys for being here.
That team is total dust. My God.
My
Dude, my
team?
receivers are nasty.
No, Peter's team.
Oh, Peter's team.
What's your team, Adam?
Adam's team is Justin Fields, Dalvin Cook, Antonio Gibson without any of the long down and distance or 2-minute drill, Tyreek Hill, Hardman, who's very fast, Marquise Brown, also very fast, Kyle Pitts looks really good actually, Tyler Boyd, and the Cardinals defense.
Oh my God. I'm getting to full 3.9 just thinking about it.
You want to do an extra 1,000 on it, Levitan?
All right, let's go another 1,000. Let's go another 1,000 on the side.
Okay.
There you go. Side bet on the side between these two for $1,000. I think I got both of y'all cooked. I'm going to go with Justin Herbert with a team total like around 27, 28, like whatever. Give me quarterbacks against Kansas City pretty much all day, especially when they have offensive weapons like the aforementioned Big Mike, like Austin Eckler, like that dude Keenan Allen, who's really, really good. And also not a statue, right? Not a running quarterback like Lamar or Fields, but somebody who can add some value on the ground with his legs and has been utilized around the end zone with multiple rushing touchdowns last year. Considering that based on penalties, I think Justin Herbert left an additional 300 yards on the field last week, and every one of them was an absolute eye-popping wow throw. Like, holy crap, did you see that throw? Adam, they called back a Parham touchdown last week. How does that happen? Did you contact the league about them calling back a Parham touchdown? That's not allowed.
Well, that entire game was played under dispute after that point, in which case I want all my money back from all the money that I lost on the Dallas Chargers game.
Somebody get the fine folks at Draftkings on the line. I'm going to finish it up with Herbert, Saquon, Eckler, Osborne, Kupp, Marvin Jones Jr., Kelsey, Mooney, and the Bengals defense. If I don't win this cage match, I am going to absolutely retire from DFS until week 4. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.